AOC. What? She's kind of fun in a silly but earnest, wrong but adorable way. She's like your daughter when she comes back from her first year at Brown, full of half-baked, half opinions, in need of some gentle, patient deprogramming. But people have to realize new faces doesn't mean new ideas. Drives me crazy. AOC has never introduced a fresh idea or issue in.
Everyone's thinking it, so let's just say it out loud. The AOC show is great television until someone changes the channel to reality. Yes, we're talking about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the internet's favorite congresswoman, the queen of the viral monologue, the patron saint of ring light righteousness. And tonight, the joke's not coming from her Instagram live. It's coming from Greg Gutfeld, who basically walked into the room, grabbed the mic, and said what half the country whispers. The performance is louder than the policy. That's the headline. That's the clip. That's the spark. And yes, it stings. Here's the core news up front. No hedging. Gutfeld is exposing AOC's brand, how it's packaged, how it plays online, and how the glossy promise deflates.
She gets along with Bernie is because she's like an 80-year-old leftist in a used bookstore. I mean, she may look fresh, but she's as stale as an abandoned futon on the street. It's like I listen to her, I go, I heard that at Berkeley in 1983. So their problem is, and the reason why they don't have any ideas is they operate on half opinions. Like, what if we get rid of cash bail? Oh, let's do it. What happens? You have repeat criminals wreaking havoc. What if we have sanctuary cities? Hey, let's do it. What happens? You have rapists and killers, finding sanctuary, safe haven. What if
it's under math, money, and the messy details of governance? He isn't arguing like a think tank analyst. He's cutting like a comic. His target isn't just her proposals. It's the production behind them. The costumes, the catchphrases, the choreography of outrage that racks up views but dodges receipts. That matters right now because politics has bled into entertainment so completely that a punchline can move a poll faster than a white paper. If the
and go unmocked.
Think about what their ideas incentivize. That would be nice. So where are their ideas going to come from? Trump. The only way they're going to create a message is based on whatever Trump does. So I have some slogans for the Democrat Party.
Oh, wow.
The Democrat Party, when you're tired of success.
Okay.
The Democrat Party, make America suck again. Democrat Party, the first choice for illegals, vandals.
Currency of modern power is attention. Then the question is simple. Is the attention built on substance or staging? That's the stake, and that's why you're here. So here's what you're going to get before we roll. First, the roast that lands because it echoes a public suspicion that the working-class voice with the perfect camera angle might be more influencer than lawmaker. Second, the contradictions that keep resurfacing. The debt forgiveness rhetoric against the backdrop of a Tesla and a French bulldog. The Green New Deal as a
Truth bombs rolled into one.
There is nothing consistent with the Republican Party's continued attack except for the racism and incitement of violence against women of color in this. The Republican caucus threatened my life, and you all and the Republican caucus rewarded him with one of the most prestigious committee assignments in this Congress. Don't tell me this is about consistency. Don't tell me that this is about a condemnation of
sweeping mood board that melts when numbers walk in. The $8 Twitter verification spat that turned into a meme factory overnight. Third, the bigger frame. Why comedy is slicing through the political armor faster than any policy debate, and why that scares both camps. Click confirmed. Bold public sentiment on the table. Contrarian twist. The critique isn't about hating the messenger. It's about laughing at the stage directions. Quick proof incoming. And then the roadmap we just promised you. Paid off, one scene at a time. Let's step into the second best point first, because it's the one people feel in their gut before they ever read a bill. The performance gap. AOC strides onto the digital stage like a Marvel lead, cape optional, ring light mandatory, promising to rescue the planet before brunch, cure inequality by dinner, and live stream the revolution in between. It's compelling. It's cinematic. And then Gutfeld slides in with that Thanksgiving uncle energy and
maybe it's just a tweet.
I mean, first of all, $80 per theater. I mean, I made $80 in a theater, and there wasn't even a movie playing.
Wow. What do you mean?
I don't know. You know, it's no surprise. Who would go see a movie that's the opposite of entertaining? There's nothing entertaining about that. Michael Moore's colonoscopy is more entertaining than that because there's probably more twists. But it does show you how great it is to be a progressive in a liberal biased culture. She really doesn't do her job, right? She makes movies, she goes to galas, she sits for glossy butt-kissing interviews in GQ.
Says, hold on, is this Congress or open mic night? Context, you've seen the greatest hits, the rooftop garden vibes, the applause line slogans, the solemn warnings that double as shareable sound bites. Application, in the real world, that translates to policy proposals that demand billion-dollar allowances while the receipts are scribbled on the back of a napkin. Framing, expectations meet reality, and reality is boring, inconvenient, and full of spreadsheets. That's why the joke lands. Not because it's cruel, because it brushes away confetti and points to the cash register. Mini cliffhanger. We'll get to the /$8 Twitter fight in a moment. First, let's talk money, because money cuts through mood faster than any slogan. When AOC cheers debt forgiveness, Gutfeld doesn't whip out charts.
And terrifying at the same time.
But it is funny. That's mean. You're
right,
mean.
she's
You're
not
being mean.
But I'm fascinated they
My
thought
case,
there
that's
was an
true.
audience for this outside of like Earth Justice or the Justice Democrats, because who really wanted to go and see this thing? And then tomorrow you'll have an article that we'll have to talk about, which is that kids all over America are having nightmares about climate change. Well, no wonder.
Well, Jessica, what about the fact that the climate activists are very much, they're very much enthused about what they do, and
He whips out common sense theater. His line is simple and devastating. Who exactly is this for? When the data says the benefits skew toward upper-middle-class graduates, yes, including plenty of very online, very credentialed professionals, the working-class rescue branding starts looking like boutique politics. Cue the Tesla mention. Cue the French bulldog joke. It's not about the car or the dog. It's about the symbol. You can preach scrappy solidarity, but if you're also test-driving virtue with leather seats, the meme writes itself. Context. Student loans are brutal. Lots of families are drowning. Application. If the fix is a sweeping transfer dressed up as justice, but functionally tilted toward the credentialed, blue-collar taxpayers here, you pay my tab. Framing. That's not compassion to them. That's theater with a tip jar. Now for the strongest point. The one every comedy monologue circles back to because it's the motherlode of contradictions. The Green New Deal. On paper, it reads like America's vision board. Free healthcare, free education, guaranteed jobs, retrofitting every building, decarbonizing everything with speed and sparkle. Inspiring? Sure. But then math shows up like the sober friend at 2 a.m. and the vibe changes. Gutfeld's not arguing climate science. He's poking the budget hole with a grin. Who pays, he asks, and when the answer is the billionaires, the corporations, the magical ledger in the sky, he shrugs and reminds you that arithmetic isn't a right-wing conspiracy. Context. Climate is real. The stakes are high, and the public is tired of doom screams without blueprints. Application. If your fix reads like an HGTV special for an entire nation, every building renovated, every plane running on vibes, you need a financing plan that survives daylight. Framing. The expectation was a roadmap. The reality, in Gutfeld's riff, is a Kickstarter pitch with stretch goals that include ending poverty and handing out puppies. Funny? Yes. Cutting? Also yes, because the gap between promise and plan is where trust goes to die. Pattern interrupt. Quick hit. AOC on 60 Minutes, floating marginal tax rates on the tippy tops, 60, even 70%, delivered with the smooth gravitas of someone who knows the clip will circulate for days. Gutfeld hears it and doesn't unspool a tax seminar. He simply says the idea isn't new, and the crowd laughs because his punchline isn't "you're wrong," it's "you're rerunning 1983 with better lighting." That's the roast. She looks fresh, the ideas feel familiar, and the audience can feel both sensations at once. Glossy future, recycled past, open loop, the arrest clip. We'll come back to the cuffs. Before that, let's talk the /$8 moment, because it's perfect internet politics. AOC quips about a billionaire trying to sell free speech for $8 a month. Elon Musk flicks back, "Your feedback is appreciated. Now pay $8. The timeline erupts. Headlines blossom. TikToks breed overnight. And what does Gutfeld do? He doesn't litigate platform policy. He deadpans the absurdity. We turned speech into a subscription. We turned blue checks into a moral referendum. We turned the public square into a punchline where the loudest emotion wins." Context: a congresswoman and a tech mogul trolling each other would have been a one-day story in any sane era. Application: in the content economy, it's oxygen. It's fodder for the next segment, the next outrage, the next clapback. Framing: expectations said leaders debate substance. Reality says leaders duel via meme, and the meme always wins. Callback: you wanted the arrest? Here's the clip you remember. The raised fist, the solemn march, the headline that screamed, "Detained." Then the wide shot rolls, and the cuffs look symbolic. Did she resist? No. Did the image travel farther than the context? Absolutely. And that's Gutfeld's sweet spot. He isn't arguing the law, he's mocking the staging. The tableau plays like street theater with congressional letterhead. That's the exposure. Not that nothing happened, but that the most viral frame often outruns the most honest one. Let's slow the pace for a breath and talk about why this works, why comedy is beating op-eds to the finish line. A joke is a Trojan horse. You open the gates because it's funny, and then the payload rolls in, a perspective you weren't going to read if it showed up as a 50-page PDF. Gutfeld uses that to crack the brand. He says the quiet part out loud. Is this Congress or TikTok House? Is the job to legislate or to trend? And when he throws out taglines, "Make America Suck Again," "The Party for Illegals," "Vandals," and "The Walking Dead," it's incendiary on purpose. It's not meant to persuade your policy brain. It's meant to stamp an image on your memory. That's how modern persuasion works. Not a debate stage. A gif you can't unsee. Mini cliffhanger. There's a poll number you need to hear before we land this plane. But first, one more value loop, the influencer versus lawmaker frame. Context: AOC's biggest wins are cultural. She sets the conversation. She commands the camera. She can pull a million eyes to a stream and make the algorithm kneel.